on his way. What?
That's huge. She writes things. That's a lot of words.
It is.
I can't wait.
All right. Are we ready for this? All right. As most of you may know, I'm the bride's older sister, Chelsea. First, I'd like to take a second to admire how beautiful my baby sister looks today. Brad, you don't look so bad yourself. The only thing that would have made you look better today was your trooper hat.
I would agree.
But we both know Carly would have killed you, and we wouldn't be sitting here. Hopefully I can get through this. I briefly remember my mom being pregnant with Carly. However, I remember the day Carly was born like it was yesterday. And I wasn't really a happy camper. I was mad my mom and dad were gone. And if you guys know any of me, or any of you guys know me from when I was little, my socks were bothering me. I vividly remember sitting there. My socks were driving me nuts. That night, Mom and Dad were obviously going to the hospital, and Casey and I had to go to the football game in Sheridan with our older cousin Jody, and I just didn't think that was going to be fun. Fast forward a few hours later, and there we were at the hospital meeting our new baby sister, Carly. The next couple of days, I don't really remember much about being at the hospital. I do remember when they brought her home. Of course, Casey was the first one that got to hold her, and I didn't get to before we went to school. When we got home, Carly was gone. She was jaundiced and had to go back to the hospital. And I think that's when my dislike for Carly kind of started. Over the next few years, we had our fair share of up and down. She was the annoying little sister that all of my friends loved, and I just thought she was the worst. We did, however, have some good times, like when she would let me do her hair and makeup and pose by the boat and the Firebird and let me play photographer. I'll save you the embarrassment and not share those photos today. It wasn't until I graduated and moved to South Dakota that I would realize just how amazing my baby sister was. When I had my daughter Ella, our bond grew stronger. There wasn't a thing for Ella or myself that she wouldn't do. She spent many weekends on the road just to spend a few hours with us. When I moved back home, that's when Carly became my best friend and the person that I could always count on. And to this day, still, she's the first, and to this day still, when she first met Brad, I'm not gonna lie, I was worried that my kids and myself would be put on the back burner. That wasn't the case at all. Poor Brad was thrown right into the mix and has done an amazing job with the uncle role. I could call these two at 5 a.m. after they've both worked an all-night shift and say, "Help, my kids are sick and I have to go to work today." Without hesitation, they would be there in a heartbeat, even if that means Brad's getting throwing up on all over the back seat of Carly's beloved Jeep. And they won't complain, or at least not to my face. I want to wrap this up by saying, Brad, thank you for making my sister the happiest girl and treating her like the queen that she is. Good luck, she's officially yours. Carly, I'm so lucky to have you as my sister and my best friend. It's been an honor to stand by your side on your wedding day. I'm so proud of the woman you become, and I can't wait to see you guys keep crushing your dreams. I'd also like to thank all my parents and Brad's parents for everything they've done to put on this beautiful wedding and reception. It's been the perfect day and night. Carly and Brad, I wish you the best. May you always find comfort in each other. I hope you have as much fun growing old with her as I did growing up with her. Now everybody, let's raise our glass and have a toast to the newlyweds. I didn't cry.
Let's do this nice birthday.
Haley?
It is short and sweet.
That's
All right, hi everyone. My name is Haley. Carly and I have been best friends since elementary school, and over the last 3 years, I've forced Brad to be my friend too. I've been incredibly lucky to have Carly as my best friend, my go-to person, my voice of reason for so many years now. Sometimes I forget just how lucky I am to have her in my life. She's selfless, kind, beautiful inside and out, and truly lights up any room. Our friendship has lasted through all life's ups and downs, through both of us moving to different states for college, which made our nightly hangouts into FaceTime calls, but she always made sure to visit no matter how far away we were from each other. Watching her and Brad's relationship grow from the very beginning to now as husband and wife has been beautiful to watch. I remember how excited she was telling me about their first date and already talking about the second one, to then showing me engagement rings that she wanted, and then Brad messaging me telling me he wanted to propose to Carly and making sure she had her nails done just the way she wanted, because we all know Carly. Their love is beautiful to watch, and I'm so honored to stand up here with them both today. Now let the party begin.
Good time. Here we go. Okay, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Cody Nickel. I've been very good friends with these two for a very long time. And to start off, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. It's easy to read everyone's face and see just how loved these two are. Whenever I see Brad and Carly together, I smile. I smile because I know how much they love each other and because I know how it all started. You see, I was there that day, in fact. I was working night shift back when I had far more hair, and I got assigned someone to do a ride-along with me. The day came, and this happy young kid got into my car because he had an interest in being a cop. I cautioned him about the job, but I never cautioned him about dispatchers. As fate would have it, several hours into the ride-along, I got a text from one of them. I can't remember the exact message or the setting, but I imagine it was something like, "I don't feel good, I ordered food, pick it up for me," followed by the crack of lightning in the air. Now, be it divine intervention or my fear of getting assigned terrible calls for the next month, I responded, "When and where?" I went and got it and brought it to her house, and if you think Jimmy John's is fast, you should see how fast a scared cop is. Brad walks through her door carrying her food, and they start talking while I stand at the door like a little kid waiting to go to the park. After they had charmed each other long enough, Brad and I left to continue our pursuit against evil for the night. However, this time was different. Every time I would say something, I wouldn't get a response. I would look over to see Brad staring at his phone, grinning ear to ear. I could tell when he was grinning and how often too, because he had his phone's brightness set to sunlight in the middle of the night.
He still does that.
Uh-huh. Brad and I became very close after he did his ride-along. We started lifting together and hanging out together a lot. We have remained very close over the years, even though much in life has changed. But what has never changed is how Brad looks at that phone when you message him. With all the sincerity and love in my heart, I and everyone in this room wish you the happiest marriage and the best life together.
Perfect. Whoa. Sorry.
Drink down.
Yeah. Okay. Kinda. I made the thing bigger. All right. I'm Dusty. Brad offered me $100 to be here tonight. Oh wait, I wasn't supposed to tell you guys that. Cash only. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to start this off by telling you a story on how Brad and I met. a little backstory first. Brad and I are actually distant cousins. Our great-grandpas were twin brothers. But Brad and I are practically brothers now anyway. So Brad and I also work together, which it kind of makes this story even better. So back to how we met. So about 7 or 8 years ago, there I was, rookie cop on day shift, sitting in one of my usual spots just off the square in Sheraton. Here comes this truck up to the stop sign with this kid driving who looks like he's maybe 12 years old. You didn't have facial hair back then, so. So I look over and see this kid's not wearing a seatbelt. I was like, boom, this kid's screwed. I get behind him, I light him up. He pulls over, I go up and tell him what the deal is. I'm sure he tried arguing that he had it on. But as you can all tell, I'm a pretty smart guy, so I didn't fall for it. Can't blame him for trying, though. I asked him for his license, registration, insurance, all that stuff. He gives me his stuff. I still haven't looked at his name on his driver's license yet. We didn't really know each other at the time. So he gives me his stuff, but he can't find his insurance. So he asks if he could call his mom. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I'll be back in the patrol car. Go ahead and do that. So I'm in the patrol car. Finally look at his driver's license halfway through, writing him a ticket for the seatbelt. There it is, Bradley Michael Young. This name kind of sounds familiar. I think I might be related to him. About that time, Wendy pulls up to the traffic stop, walks over to Brad and proceeds to chew his ass. Now, usually I don't let people come up to my traffic stop and interfere with any way. But I saw what was going down, and I'm like, nope, I'm not getting involved with that. So I can only imagine Brad was wondering where the hell I was, because he was sure Wendy was going to commit some type of child abuse right in front of me. So meanwhile, I'm trying not to laugh my ass off while writing Brad his $130 ticket. I waited for Brad to wipe his tears before heading back up to the truck. I issued him the ticket, and I left. I'm sure Brad probably thought I was an asshole for weeks after that, but I like to see it as I saved his life by making him wear a seatbelt. I guarantee Brad wore a seatbelt from there on out, and I also learned a valuable lesson that day. Don't ever piss Wendy off. So maybe a year or two later, I found myself on night shift, dealing with some local dirtbags. Being the only officer on at night, I had to find some resources to gather intel on the location of these dirtbags. So what better way to do that than to form my own task force of high school kids? The high school kids were always out and about during the night and were more than willing to help me. Guess who was mixed in with those high school kids? Brad. So eventually Brad started doing some ride-alongs and decided he wanted to pursue a career in law enforcement like his role model, me. Brad rode around town with me a lot. To the point when I saw his name pop up on my phone, I was like, geez, not again. There were some nights I would tell him I was just drowning in paperwork, just drowning in paperwork, and I wasn't going to be doing a whole lot, and it wouldn't be worth his time to come ride with me. He asked me that all the time. Yep. So moving forward, Brad never seemed to be like the guy to really settle down. He moved from job to job, from town to town, until he met Carly. I've never seen someone change their ways so drastically. I don't know if Carly just scares the shit out of him or what, but he moved to Knoxville to be with Carly, landed a job at the sheriff's office in the jail. Then he got on as an officer with the PD in Sheraton. Well, guess who gets to train all the new guys at Sheraton PD? Me. So we had a lot of fun during the training phase. It was great for me to see Brad get out and actually do the job that he got to witness from the passenger seat of my patrol car. But all jokes aside, Brad's an awesome guy. I love him to death. He's like my brother. I think he also found a pretty awesome girl in Carly too. So I can't wait to see where your guys' lives takes you. But let's all raise our glass for Brad and Carly. Cheers.
cake now?